Are we live?
Hey, it's
Are we
us. We're
live?
here.
Can you hear us?
Greetings.
The audio thing
Hello,
is doing stuff,
hello world.
so hopefully we're good.
Hi.
Got some
Hello,
audio.
hello, audience. Can you hear us?
Audio
As
works.
I post randomly.
Nice.
Yay! Okay,
I'm
so
seeing some yeses.
I gotta show off my
we
new
are
dice.
live and
They're very shiny.
live and functional. Yeah, Alina's new dice are pretty awesome.
I
Ooh,
love these.
amazing.
They got
Also,
so sparkly inside.
Excellent.
the Chessex company at Gen Con has finally introduced mini dice that are like
Really
spectacular.
pretty.
Cool.
So we bought a whole crap load for making more dice jewelry. So I can confidently say once again that if you bought dice at Gen Con, I bought more than you because I bought 800.
Yeah, that's
800
probably more than
dice.
most people.
Unless you're
I also
a
got
company that sells them.
a very cool dice box for my shiny new dice.
Very good.
Dice Goblin, Dice Time.
Very good.
Very good game goblin energy going on here. All right. So if we are alive and with sound and all those good things, I will launch into it, everybody. So hello, internet friends and webcomic fans. It's your friendly neighborhood dungeon biologist here, biologing some dungeons. I'm here to bring you another episode of Trash Heroes, the D&D stream where we recount the epic adventures of this wildly improbable collection of horrible creatures that we call that Trash Heroes. The players, of course, are nowhere near as horrible, and they are this collection of lovely internet cartoonists. Please feel free to check out their work. We have links all up in the corner there, as well as down below in the description page. Check out everybody's social
Oh, hey, bud.
medias and Patreons and support everybody. There's a Patreon for the stream as well if you want to support it. We'd love to have you in there, and you can check out all the cool crap that I post from the planning of these games. So let's meet the characters without any further kerfuffle. So first up, there is back with us again from the foreign, strange, adventurous lands of France. It is the keeper of the vermin, protector of the trash heap, Fetid Quaggle.
Me.
Next up, we have the larger-than-life pit fighting superstar, Ugna Sugar
me.
Tusks.
Hey, everybody.
And in absentia today, the trickster cleric, rogue baker, and party animal, Tromlin Darioles. Randy is dealing with all kinds of obnoxious crap post-convention, and will not be able to join us today, but he's with us in spirit. And finally, our sweet old grandpa, who's also accidentally an ancient warlock, Copernicus Sunshine.
Time passes us by, but we've punched time in the dick.
Good.
Okay, so when we last left our heroes, and Jeff missed this one, so he'll be very interested in the recap. The party made it to Dwimmerdell thanks to the bargain they made with the creepy secret society of mages known as the Sidalatas Ortus, using their magic teleportation circle. The group then hurried to deliver their cargo to Tromlin's contacts in the Thieves Guild in the creepy city of Dwimmerdell. And in the process, the team was ambushed by Los Hermandas Fuertes and their
no.
trusty sidekick, El Truco.
Oh, God.
The chat chose the nature of the ambush
Of
and
course.
selected a pit filled with black sludge.
Oh,
Which
great.
almost took me out. I was almost done.
Yeah,
Oh,
which
boy.
turned out to be a black pudding, which is a terrifying
Yeah,
D&D
bad
monster,
news.
and not just a type of blood sausage. So the pit of black sludge opened up, and the three brothers assaulted the party. Tromlin spent a hero point to grab Trey the owlbear cub and Missy step to safety.
Nice.
But Ugna and Copernicus fell in into the sludge. Now, this was after they had parted ways from Fetid, because Fetid went to check on the local Quaggles, leaving his Jade pseudo-dragon friend Filth to hang out
That's
with the
definitely
group.
what I was doing, and not gorging myself on sewer foie gras.
Excellent.
Sewer foie gras.
Built for
It's my favorite.
I'd still try it.
foie gras.
So this led to some oof. This led to some fun times as Colorico Fuerte did a leap attack into the pit and wrestled Ugna in the slime. The cart began to sink down into oblivion. So Copernicus summoned his demon Throckmaw, who happens to be a wingling dragon shape. And Throckmaw carried both himself and the cart, sorry, not the cart, but the crate of precious cargo to safety.
Yeah, R.I.P. Cart.
Yeah, while Ugna and Copernicus were
Served us
badly
well.
injured. But eventually the party fought off the attack. Los Armandos Fuertes fled into the night. Malo Fuerte shook his boxing gloved fist. And the team then completed their delivery of the mysterious crate of magic materials to the hooded magicians that ruled Dwimmerdale, known as the Shrouded Ones, who immediately began some sort of really creepy ritual. Copernicus managed to observe a little bit of the ritual as the team was retreating, noting that the contents of the crate included large bundles of magical crystals that were cast into the fires of the braziers during the ritual, and a variety of demon skulls and other demon bones, as well as a ritual blade made of black steel, the same substance
That's
that
familiar.
Ugna's sword is made of.
I'm sure that's fine.
Yeah, and bearing a rune that Copernicus recognized from his past. So this was clearly a friendly magical ritual that could not possibly have any sort of negative repercussions at any point in the future.
Nope,
Yes.
nope.
No, definitely.
And everything is
definitely not related to the temple in the desert of Ix, and definitely not a demon skull with strange mantis like that.
There's no connection whatsoever to Copernicus's patron, who we're not going to mention.
Not at all. No patron.
Nope, we're all fine. Everything's great.
So from there, the
How are you
party
doing?
went to visit Copernicus's grandniece, one Professor Albinia Sunshine at the Sunshine School for Peculiar Youngsters. But she was very surprised to see the group because it turned out, it quickly came out that she had recently already been in touch with a version of Copernicus. Apparently his shadow had come and volunteered to serve as Professor of Defense Against the Dark Arts.
A
And had
cursed
already
position.
gone off with the children on a field trip earlier that day. This led to an initial panic, and it was eventually determined that the party would go off with one of the teachers chosen by the chat. This teacher was Professor Manair Smurf McGargamel.
Not Professor Lupine, the Werewolf Man.
Oh, that one I pulled out of my
Lupine
ass.
Werewolf
That was
Man.
You don't
Professor Lupine Werewolfman.
Yes,
of
good.
Elder Cove Werewolfmans.
Definitely not a werewolf, though.
He's a normal man.
Just a regular guy.
I've also decided to retcon and say that Professor Manair Smurf McGargamel has also got blue skin, because of course she does.
Oh, of course.
And so it was determined that you would go off after a bit of a rest with several of the school servants and Professor McGargamel to try and overtake the children before they come to any harm. And we left with the party resting up as the expedition is being planned. So that is our recap. So I'm going to start with Fetid. So Fetid, the previous day, you of course encountered some of the local quaggles, and since the party was just delivering a crate, you were like, I'm going to go talk to these guys, send filth if there's any problems. And so you went off with the local quaggles. The quaggles here are an interesting bunch. The group that you met were some mangy-looking dark-furred ratkin and goblins, but their friends were quite a variety of imps and tieflings, and in fact completely unidentifiable groups of a wide variety of strange and wondrous creatures, like small flesh golems, floating severed heads, small-scale ghouls and zombies, and so forth.
So we found the Nightmare Before Christmas town.
It's spooky.
Yes,
Good.
like the city above, the denizens of Dwimmerdale often defy classification into traditional Dungeons and Dragons races.
You know what? I can support that.
Keep it classless, we say.
And In fact, it's very interesting. There's a lot of magic use in the sewerways, and Fetid quickly learned that there's no real local leadership of the Quaggles. Quaggles in Dwimbledale are not as widely persecuted as they are in other cities.
Nice. We get
Especially because of
sewer
the fact that,
communism.
yeah, because so many of the homes above ground are like creepy, dank, and weird. It's not really a big difference.
Sewers
The
are just slightly
dankest.
less gentrified. That's all.
Yeah, so
The
the
dankest
Quaggles
town.
are
Mhm.
pretty fractious and cultish in all their little groups. So the ones that you met with were basically some friendly Quaggles who happened to be aware of your exploits, particularly in
Okay.
Ravenfall,
hmm
and they just offered their hospitality. So Fetid ate and slept well, assuming that the rest of the group would let him know if they had any problems, if they needed him for anything.
hmm
And so eventually, the party will send Filth to come and let you know that they apparently need to go and rescue a bunch of children from Copernicus's demon animated shadow.
Hey, yeah, that sounds plausible as well. None of this doesn't surprise me anymore. None of this does.
It seems par for the course.
That's just Tuesday
Yep.
around here.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, the rest of you have a quick rest. What
Are we
was that?
sleeping in the dorms?
Tuesdays with Perni. It's a Fetid's memoir.
Good.
Yeah, you're they put you up in one of the dorms
As long as it's
that
not weekend at
currently
Perni's.
weekend at Perni's will eventually happen, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're gonna like learn an astral projection spell and be like,
there's gonna be a lot of animated corpses.
and some like creepy family member is gonna come around and they're gonna be like, crap, we need to pretend he's still here. And it's gonna happen.
Good.
No, now I'm planning that adventure. There's no question.
Oh,
Weekend at Perni's is going to happen. It will be canon.
if I ever miss a session, Fetid has to operate my body like it's a
Yeah.
corpse, and I've astrally vacated my perfect.
I'll get my
Excellent.
hand right up in there and puppet you around.
Or like a stick. Because
Yeah,
And just the bugs.
you've already
You're just
you've
animated by
already been my
bugs.
wife for a scene.
Oh yeah, that's probably actually doable
Yes.
given our skills.
yeah,
What I like is how bugs inside me.
Just a corpse full of bugs. Nothing to see
Yep.
here.
that's typical for this party.
Bringing
Pretty much.
meaning to the fact that we're on the platform Twitch.
I am informed that my gain is very high.
Oh.
But that may be because I have the noise canceling headphones. I think I'm being louder than normal.
Gotcha. I've
I'm
also
gonna try.
dialed you back just a little. I'll
Sure.
keep an eye on the levels.
Yeah, just keep an eye on the levels.
Yeah.
I
Let me know if you get too quiet too.
my regular wireless headset, I unfortunately forgot to plug in, so I'm using this big old noise canceling one, which makes it so I can't even hear myself. So where was I here? I think it is time to
For a
throw the
poll.
first poll up in the chat.
Ooh boy.
So I am going to ask my players to vacate the chats so we can begin
Hey birdie.
with poll number 1 for the night. And I will ask my shadow DM to be pollify. Okay, there it goes. So I'll remind the audience as you watch that everybody gets a vote, but you can absolutely vote multiple times using your channel points or bits or whatever other methods you want if you are particularly interested in this competition. I'm excited to see which of these very interesting things is going to happen.
I would like to request that at some point the party is going to be confronted with like 10 feet of something so that we can have a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
I just think it would be in keeping with
10-foot pole.
It really
Excellent.
would.
Yep. Good.
Excellent. Okay, so remember the poll only runs for 10 minutes. So if you are watching, my good audience, please get in there, vote early, vote often, and we will see what we end up with.
I don't know if you can
I'm
hear my
very
birds, but they are
excited.
talking up a storm.
Are they having
like-
some chats?
Yeah,
Good
they're sitting on the
chats?
top of my drawing table and just like very loudly talking at me.
Okay, so I think we fixed your microphone pickup because
good, 'cause you can't hear
I
them.
can't hear them at all.
Great.
Yeah, I apologize retrospectively here for the sound quality of our last stream, because we were picking up a lot of air conditioner noise in the background. We
It
didn't
was
realize.
real hot last game. It was like
Yep.
34.
But I think we had the microphone on the wrong setting was the reason. Keep those votes a coming, folks. All right. So while the poll is running, you guys got some rest and sent Filth to go and find Fetid, which took some time. But eventually, Fetid, your little jade dragon friend finds you and lets you know that the oh, I am told that people are only able to vote once right now. I think we
Oh.
might have a setting issue on the poll. My Shadow DM, we might have the settings wrong on the poll.
Might have to restart.
I think we might have to restart it because no one can vote more than once. I'm just going to message. Oh, there we go. Okay, I got a Roger from my Shadow DM. What we might have to do is let this poll, I don't know if it can be canceled. We might like to let it run its course and then redo the poll and change the settings. Yeah, an honest election. This is not permitted. Ballot stuffing only.
It is
Wait, you're
trash.
Canadian, not American.
Well, we're trying to. We're from Western Canada. We're trying to import your ideas.
Oh, great.
Yep.
Yeah, trying way too hard.
So we'll just let that poll run out. So keep track of what you are interested in on that poll, and we'll run it again and allow you to do
There's
your
no way to
your
cancel it?
competing. It doesn't look like it's easily done, so we're just going to let it run out.
Okay.
In the meantime, my Shadow DM will handle that whilst I continue with the party. So Filth comes to fetch you, Fetid, and leads you to this strange edifice near the south edge of town. This is the part of town where, and I'll reiterate my description of this interesting city, just because there's maybe some new people here in the chat.
I wasn't here for the first one, so I'll listen.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So Dwimmerdale is a weird and misshapen town where all of the streets have like no rhyme or reason to them. There's plenty of crooked towers and strange slanted walls. Everything's made of dingy black stone or faded wood, and it's all very dank and humid here, so that there's all kinds of strange glowing fungus and moss growing on everything. Lots of eerie glows and unaccounted for strange noises. Many of the towers and edifices are actually floating magically above the ground, and in fact, in the mountains to the south, there are many large chunks of stone, whole hillsides that are floating in the air. This kind of magical stone that has been used to construct various of the homes. And one of the more crazy, wacky towers along the south edge of the city is the Sunshine School for Peculiar Youngsters, which has a little track, a little rail. There's a little train that brings new students to the place. And I introduced many of the Addams Family tropes. There was a sentient gate and a strange lurching butler and so forth.
Very good. I'm into
yes. And you find your way to this school. There's a bit of a park around the place that's all like mainly dead trees that may or may not be dead. A lot of pines that are so covered in reindeer moss that you can't tell if they're dead or alive. Lots of fungus, lots of weird glowing things. A lot of the fungus here has eyes that follow you as you go by. Plenty of the edifices here are kind of animated, so there's lots of like door knockers and gargoyles that watch you, hiss at you, and otherwise interact as you go past. And loads of creepy magic.
Nice.
For some reason,
My,
all the gargoyles are named after streets in New York.
Yeah, at least. No, because we're trying to do things
Oh,
like
yeah.
slightly different. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
all streets in Toronto.
There's Young.
Lord,
Young Blore.
God.
The poll has been
Good.
reset.
Got to get our
So
CanCon.
now the poll has been reset with the fix. You should be able to vote to your heart's content. So let us know if there continue to be any issues. I'm excited to see where this ends up going. Bring them votes in. All right, there we go. We're seeing some votes flying in here. Democracy is restored. Democracy by the one who wishes to purchase the most of it. Once again, democracy is for sale here in the Trash Heroes stream, as should be the case. And someone mentioned that there are some sound issues with Peter being muffly. That's because Peter is traveling and is using a headset that is not his usual setup. Hopefully, people can hear well enough.
I've
There
got you
should be no
boosted as
problems.
far as I can on my end. I don't know if there's anything you can boost on your end.
The air conditioner is going to come on and off behind me.
Right.
Right now it's off, but I'm on the third floor of a like 100-year-old house in rural New York coming off of a heat wave. So I desperately need this on to survive the next
Yeah.
3 hours.
Well, and your computer.
Yeah.
It would like
Oh, yeah, actually,
explode.
I can. Yeah, I can move the computer a little bit away from any microphone
Yeah.
sources. And I'll try switching to the other headset
Cool.
at the break, and we'll see if it
Yeah.
helps more.
Okay, I see a tight race has begun,
Ooh.
so I'm interested to see where your votes take that poll. So in the meantime,
Also,
yep.
one more housekeeping order. I'm playing directly above the bedroom of my sleeping first real life nugget, my nephew, who's 5 months old, I'm staying
Aw.
with and visiting him, and it's been delightful. But if you hear screaming, it's not Barb and the haunted chum bucket. It is my nephew waking from a nap or being put down for a nap. Either way,
Aw.
I read him the second edition AD&D rulebook earlier today. He
Oh,
took
he's
to it
gonna have
pretty
some fun
well.
dreams.
Yeah. So hopefully that should help. But yeah, if he screams, it's just because he's upset that the cleric is so broken in second ed AD&D. The meta magic feats,
It's
you
not
can just
great.
buff
Who can
yourself for a
who
whole
can
day.
blame him?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well. Okay. So, Fetid, you've arrived at this school. It's very early in the morning. But you've been kind of like resting all day. So, when you get there, when you get word from Filth late in the night, you kind of just like can finish your nap and then head in like before dawn. So it's just barely like the false dawn has begun. The sky is starting to lighten a bit uh, in the east and out across the ocean. Um, and you get to this little um, this little wood, this little park around this school. There's a lot of bats flying around the place, just getting ready to settle down for the day. Um, and there's a big gate. There's a platform where a train would pull up, and then there's a big gate that is chained shut. That gate, as you get closer, begins to growl at you and
Oh,
kind of
good.
like shudder against its chains. Um, but you also see that there's a big plinth on one side with a velvet bell pull, very ratty looking velvet bell pull hanging down. Um, that has a sign on it that says "Ring for service."
Okay. I'm going to cautiously ring the bell.
You grab a hold of it and find it's really hard to pull. You actually need to put all your weight on it, but eventually you,
Yeah, it's not actually that much weight, so that makes
yeah.
sense.
And when it comes down, there's this like impossibly distant echoing gong that's like almost like rising up from the earth. And then instantly materializing out of the mist, there is this 7.5 foot tall, cadaverous looking man who goes, "You rang."
I mean, I pulled and the bell thing rang, but yes, more or less. I'm looking for my friends. Hmm.
He seems to be waiting for more information.
One of them is a little old man with a chum bucket that has some runes on it, and one of them is a giant pit fighting half troll lady, and there's a satyr in the mix, and I was wondering if you had seen them.
It amuses the hell out of me to imagine that Fetid doesn't know the names
Yes. Good.
of his companions.
No, I mean he
Descriptions.
he goes by general shapes and scents,
Yeah.
but it's
I'm
hard
sure
to
you know our
describe a
scent.
scent to somebody. Yeah.
But this seems to be good enough. He turns and says, "Follow." And he goes down the side of the gate where there is a little sub gate off to one side, basically attached to the same frame that the gate is. And he waves a hand and it opens by itself. And he leads you through. And he guides you to the building where the doors, again, the big, huge double doors open by themselves, and you're ushered into a great hall. Everything is dusty, and there's spider webs everywhere, and there's all kinds of paintings of creepy things that some of them seem to be animated and moving around. They're all like paintings of what appear to be great alumni of this institution. And they're all very weird. Like, one of them is like a centaur, but it's the top half is the horse.
Nice.
Good.
And then it's
My
just like
favorite.
normal.
That's my favorite kind of centaur.
Yeah, it's got 4 legs, but they're human legs, and then
Even better.
there's a horse head.
Want to meet
And
that guy?
one of them is like a tall, elegant looking lady, but she has like bat wings and little horns and looks variously demonic, but she's holding like a big corsage of dead roses.
I've seen her in literally every anime ever.
Mm-hmm.
And so forth. There's a lot of individuals. Many of them are not human by any stretch. Many of the ones that are human have things that make them maybe not exactly look human, like there's some kind of bright color, or they've got various abnormal features. Everyone here looks like they might have once been a peculiar youngster, which seems on theme, since that's what the sign says outside. And he leads you. Yeah, he leads you up one of these huge grand staircases to a long hallway with a sign over it, ornate sign that says, dorm 3. Oh man, there's got to be a house thing. What are the houses for this place?
That's what Ollie thinks. What are you yelling at?
Gruffin.
What? Oh. What?
Slipper in.
Yes.
Hustle plus.
No,
It'll be like,
Ravenclaw.
yeah, they got to be a kind of like creepy and gross. So like this it says house Gristlepuff.
Good.
Oh.
It's Fetid's favorite kind of chips.
Yep,
Hello,
it
Ollie.
is. I like the gristly kind.
Ollie has decided
Sour
to come and
cream.
join our stream.
Sour cream and gristle.
Aw.
Good dog.
He
I'm outta
literally
here.
just left the room while grumbling.
Yeah, he basically, that was the dog version of him going, nerds.
Yep.
And then leaving. Yeah, this dorm 3 house Gristlepuff. And basically this leads into a long hallway that has a little sort of sitting room at the end of it. There's no one in the sitting room right now. Actually, no, there is one individual in the sitting room right now. The individual is sitting cross-legged in midair. It's kind of hovering.
Okay.
Good.
And appears to be sort of like
Nice.
just meditating. Their eyes are open but rolled back, so only whites are showing. And they're just kind of like facing a wall and not moving. It's kind
Okay.
of a chubby-looking fellow in a very severe monk's robe with a bald head, and he's just
He's just
hovering there.
doing some monk
Uh,
shit.
The butler
Mhm.
just kind of like leads you past, and down the hallway where there's just a series of doors on either side, like dorm rooms. This is not like the Harry Potter British school thing of like common rooms with common beds, but rather more like a boarding house with individual bedrooms. Um, and he leads you down. You see that many of the doors are open and ajar, and the rooms are unoccupied. But towards the middle, there's several doors that are closed. And you recognize the sound as you approach of Ugna snoring.
I was just gonna
Nice.
say I am definitely still asleep if it's that early in the morning.
Yep.
It's a very familiar snore.
I hear my friend snoring.
Yep.
I'd
And
know that snore anywhere.
And as you approach, one of the doors opens. Copernicus, you hear as Fetid and mostly the lumbering butler are coming down the hallway towards. And of course, you don't sleep, so you're just resting. So you open the door,
I
and
imagine,
Fetid is here.
I imagine I've spent some of the night anxiously asking questions about things that my shadow did and said,
Yep.
and try to collect as much data as I can on its personality. But after that, I will. I very much appreciate you coming as quickly as you could. We seem to have found ourselves in a bit of a pickle.
Like
Uh,
edible pickle or danger fight battle pickle?
this is very much a danger pickle.
Okay, danger pickle.
I think we will need your finest tracking skills to track down. How many children is it who went on the field trip?
Sorry?
I'm taking children.
Or how many children went
Or how
on the
many?
field trip?
Yeah, it was like the entire senior class
Ooh.
because it's what they what they do for this. So probably it's not like they're not that many peculiar youngsters. So we're going to say there was a dozen students in the senior class.
Well,
So we need to track down a dozen children, but if we get half of them back, that's a good recovery rate. I'll be happy
okay.
with that.
Which half? I'm not there.
Hey.
Well, I can say the poll is over. So
Cool. Can we look at the chat?
yeah, you're allowed to look at the chat again.
Sweet.
There's no secrets in the chat right now.
I'm going to pitch my other house names while I have them in my head in the chat. Raisin Clog, I think, is a good gross name.
Ooh, nice.
If we're doing Gristle Door, no, we did Gristle Puff, which means we have to do Huskle Door.
No, it's going to be gore, right?
Gore,
they
good.
all have to be like kind of like gross undead themes.
All right, I will retcon my own chat contribution, and then
So like Raven, yeah, it could be.
Name one of them the inevitability of J.K. Rowling's death.
Yes,
Excellent.
there are like there's like graffiti here and there and like signs and stuff that say "fuck turfs" and stuff like that, just so everybody knows.
Everything is
Man,
rainbow.
I don't like the implication that turfs exist in this world.
Yeah.
Though.
It's probably like something completely different. Like they're a kind of
it's like it's some horrible like shit monster.
Yeah, they're like a particularly obnoxious kind of fairy creature, like a cross between a boggin and a skunk.
They're what an Otyugh shits out.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah, they tend to like snuffle around the sewers and
Yeah.
Quaggles eat them.
No, we don't. We burn them with fire.
Good.
The only way to be sure.
So.
Do you have any questions about the adventure we're setting off on?
Yes, please fill me in.
Well, all I know is that, do you remember that night in the woods when, and I know there's been many nights when a strange shadow has possessed me and I've wandered off, but this particular time I came back and I set off your oh fuck alarm, and then there was a bit of a something happened, and I think that when my shadow went missing, it ran off and did some shenanigans and has abducted I gag on children for human sacrifice on the night of an important magical solstice in the Badlands of unimaginable magical power. So we just need to track them down, and again, the dangerous magical Badlands on the most dangerous night of the year, and get
Okay.
them back, and it'll all be great.
I mean, I'm sure it'll be fine. That doesn't sound too bad. I think it'll be okay.
You all hear the screech of a baby owlbear from the other room as Trey wakes up and demands breakfast, and then Ugna, crashing around for a minute or two before she comes out with like an owlbear under one arm, still kind of feeding him the bottle of sludge.
Delicious sludge.
Oh, are you guys up?
Yeah,
Hi.
yeah, just starting to
You look
plan
like you
for.
got into a fight with a giant bit of horrible corrosive ooze.
I did.
Oh, wow. I'm getting better at, like, Sherlock Holmesing this shit.
Yeah, that's impressive.
I can
I say,
smell
still
it,
covered in like
unfortunately.
burns,
Yeah.
chemical burns.
Yeah, there's still some sludge sizzling through your hair.
Trey's okay though. Tromlin made sure he didn't get in the pit with me, so
That's good. He's a little bit too young to get in the pit.
yeah. Maybe when we train him up a bit more.
Yeah.
So
I'm
I
gonna
definitely
keep
want to be
filth
fair,
out of
but
any pits as long as I can. I don't want to know how jade reacts to corrosive liquids.
probably not great.
Nope.
I definitely want to be part of a owlbear like speed bagging montage.
Yeah.
I think or like speed pecking.
Yeah.
excellent.
Well, yeah, is there anything that you need to track the children? I don't know how your species works. Do you need like a scented cloth with their smell or anything? How do we
It
track them?
wouldn't hurt. I mean, there's also like lots of different kinds of tracking, right? Like if they left a trail of urine, that's easy. But if they left a trail of somebody else's urine, that complicates things.
Do we have any bedwetters in the children who are going?
But yeah,
That
like
would
if you can get me something that would smell like one of them, that would probably help.
Hey Perni, did you find out anything about the Badlands? They sound bad.
Again, it's a corruption of the Bardlands, which were lands so beautiful that the bards sang songs about their beauty and how safe they were.
Oh, that shouldn't be a big deal.
But I imagine
Probably
overnight among my trying to learn about things my shadow did, I probably did a little bit of Badlands research. May I do a little Arcana research or history roll?
You give me a history roll, and don't forget about your specialty situation.
Ooh.
Can I give myself advantage?
Is this something
It's not
that I would
advantage,
know
it's a
enough
plus
about to help out, perhaps?
well, I'm just going to give him advantage because this is like super related to his deal.
Sure.
So historian gives you expertise. So that's already why your numbers are so high. That's why you have a +10 history.
Okay.
But the fact that we've already established that you've specifically been here before, I think we'll give you advantage on this roll.
Perni, are you the reason the Badlands are called the Badlands? No.
It depends on what you mean by that, and if you mean it in 20. If you mean it in the in the badass sense. I'm the reason that the Badlands are badass.
That is pretty much the answer I should have known to expect.
So what was I missed the roll. What did you end up with?
A 20.
A dirty 20?
Dirty
20. In that case, yeah, so the Badlands are really a pretty vague description for an area because everything, in fact, actually, this is a good time for the map. Why don't we pull up one of our maps here? I'm just trying to decide which one shows.
We got Dwimmerdell over here.
Yeah, just the general map of the north that shows Dwimmerdell. You'll notice that Dwimmerdell is on the edge of a pretty vast mountain range that, in fact, is continuous with the Broken Lands to the south. I'm just pulling up my the right tab so I can see the screen. Yeah. So basically, south of the city, once there's a river that the city straddles, as we just determined before. When you go south of the city, you're pretty much immediately in some Badlands. There we
Throughout
go.
here.
Yeah. You see there's like dead forests and then like rocky hills, the Blackthorn Hills. And the Badlands is a general term for once you get a ways away from the city and up into the Blackthorn Hills, you start encountering sort of less civilized magic areas. This region around here is all very magically active, as you can tell by the floating stones in the sky and all that kind of thing. But close to the city, you have magical, like rural people, like inhabited land. Further away from the city, you have highly magically active wilderness, and particularly south, when you get into the Blackthorn Hills, this is the region that they're referring to when they say the Badlands. You know already from your discussion last night with the other with the professors at the school that the expedition specifically goes into the Blackthorn Hills, not high into the mountains where it gets to like they're not they're going on wagons. They're not expecting mountain climbing. So they'll be following some of the trails that go through the hills, making camp, and then setting out. Or at least this was the plan, right? We don't, because the attempts at sending have failed. They have no idea of knowing, or no way of knowing whether or not fake Copernicus has stuck to the original plan and taken them where they were supposed to go.
We can
But
call
there's
them faux Copernicus for short.
Say again.
We can call them faux Copernicus for short.
Copernicus.
Oh,
Good.
Excellent.
Good.
So yeah, they don't know if Copernicus has gone exactly in that same direction. Maybe you're going to need some tracking or something. But those hills are full of strange magical creatures and
There's
sights.
ghouls in them there hills.
Yeah. And yes, when you get further out into the Broken Lands, you start to get into regions where there are undead things wandering, sort of willy-nilly, which have been increasing of late. There's been more. You've heard a bit about troubles in the West, which have included an increase in the number of undead creatures wandering the wastes of the Broken Lands. Now that's further. That's well beyond the range of where these kids are supposed to be going. They're supposed to be hugging the Blackthorn Hills.
Supposed to, being the optimal word there.
But exactly. Yeah.
All right then.
Well,
I would love to get fed some in case you can do any scent tracking, belongings of the kids, and if there's anything that would help with scrying or locating them, like I don't know if personal objects help with scrying, but anything we can get before we head out would be good to.
Well, I mean, their dorm rooms are here, so we can probably find their stuff.
yeah. If there's one thing I'm good at, it's rifling through belongings which don't belong to me. So
You steal everyone's left sock.
yeah, specifically their underwear, and I'm good to go. And hey, free underwear.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, with that said, now that you're up and about, this is when things are supposed to get going. And in fact, you can hear activity around the place. And in not too much time, Professors Albania Sunshine and Mynheer Smurf McGargamel are going to appear and let you know that they've prepared an expedition. They think it best if you travel light because if you want to overtake the wagons, you're going to want to not have a wagon yourself. So they have arranged a couple of horses and a group of like you're not going to be able to ride fast or anything, but it'll be allow you to move with less tiring out. And they're going to send with you a couple of the staff here at the school, most of whom are former alumni. That's kind of how this school works.
Yeah.
It's a very
No
found family
conflicts of
kind of
interest
setup.
there, I'm sure.
Yep.
And then they're definitely
The
not all
moment-
dating each other.
Yeah.
The moment that you graduate, they start like sending spells to give you emails with like, "Now that you graduated, would you like to donate to our alumni fund?"
And there's no way to block those sending spells.
Yeah. For just
Yeah,
one pint of blood every year.
Excellent.
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, many of the students kind of call themselves magically active denizens of the school, you know, or you know that's just sort of a nickname. And when they're when they're alumni, they call themselves, of course, you know, Mads for short. But when they're alumni, they call themselves ex-Mads.
Good.
And
Good.
so many of the staff here are ex-Mads.
Are there any Mads Mikkelsons?
Or ex-Med. I don't know. Someone can come up with a better acronym for me. I didn't want to just go straight up with X-Men, but
Yeah.
I'm sure there's an MEN acronym that works. MEM. We'll go with that.
X-Mems.
Magically, I don't know, something.
Magically extraordinary mages.
Yeah, magically
Yeah.
extraordinary monstrosities.
Good. Good.
And they're
Mems.
X-Mems. They're
X-Mems.
X-Mem.
Mentees.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. X-Mentees. They're X-Mentees. Perfect. Thank you. We got there. Sometimes you got to workshop something on the fly.
Yep.
Yeah.
We do it live. That's
Them
how we
X-Mems.
roll.
Yeah.
If you're a
So
Drider, you're a Spider-Mem.
yeah. Spider-Man T.
Spider-Mem.
Yeah.
And so Professor Lupine also comes to help see you off. Professor Lupine, Werewolf.
Can he be Garou Werewolf Man?
That's his middle name.
Or Lou?
Lupine G
Lou.
Werewolf Man.
Good.
Lupine third.
Lupine Garou. His nickname is Luke Garou.
Good.
But in any case, he's a normal man.
Just a regular
he has
guy.
a lot of like torn rips in his school uniform that have been like badly patched and sewn back together.
That's just fashion these days.
Yeah.
His Twitter account is @NotAWolf.
Yeah, he catches his cloak on things a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they help you gather up like some food and supplies, and you go down to the courtyard. The big gate is flung wide, and is kind of like quivering in place. Very happy to see everybody and be involved with all the activities. It's very excited that somebody's going for a walk. And there is a handful of horses, a couple of individuals who are staff at the school. The floating monk that you saw before is here right now. Everybody calls him Uncle. That seems to be his nickname, though. He doesn't seem to be related
Uncle.
to anyone.
Munkle.
People are saying Uncle.
Does he like dumplings? Is that the thing that he likes?
Munkle Dumplings.
Good.
That's his new name.
No, his name appears to be Finster, but everybody calls
His
him.
name is Munkle Dumplings.
Good.
I was going in Uncle Eero direction, but this is a different Munkle.
Yeah. At least those who are sort of like palling with him are calling him Uncle. The staff just call him Finster. And then the other individual who's going to be leading these horses is a huge half ogre or half giant or something. He's like got to be almost over 8 feet, like possibly is closing on 9 feet tall. Very, very hairy individual,
Good.
and they call him Dagrid. He's very hairy, but his hair sticks out in these weird lines. And when you come down there, he's eating a gigantic sandwich.
Oh, wait.
Yeah,
Is he
Dagrid.
Hagrid and Dagwood?
Yes.
Yeah, he has a really
Yes.
long nose.
You know what? Still into it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and he's tall
sandwich
but
looks good.
skinny. He's tall but skinny.
Yeah.
You got another one of those anywhere?
He reaches into his crazy like coat full of pockets and pulls an entire giant
Good.
sandwich
I'm really
out
into this now. This guy's
and
great.
passes it to you.
My new best friend.
Good.
I'm torn between wanting to befriend him and wanting to just try and pickpocket him.
Find
I mean,
all his sandwiches.
you're almost slavering. He's got so many pockets. Like his cloak seems to be made entirely out of pockets.
And I'll bet you they're all sleeping bag sized for you.
Yeah.
Mhm. Think of the size of the sandwiches that could be hiding within.
So Dagrid and Finster have got the horses ready. They're already slung with baggage, with food and stuff for the trip. And Professor McGargamel is there with you to stay in contact with the school. And she's bringing her apprentice, Mickey. Mickey Cotter is coming with you guys.
Okay.
He's very excited. So he comes scurrying out of the school with like a satchel full of scrolls.
I give
like,
him
dropping
2 minutes.
scrolls as he runs.
This guy is a dead man walking.
I'm all ready to go.
Don't we have a
Professor?
picture of him somewhere? Let me see.
Yes.
What
Was it?
what
Did
color
Lar,
is it?
Lar drew him?
Yeah, Lar drew him. Where
Such a
is
good
he?
drawing.
What color shirt is he wearing on this expedition that we're doing away from?
He's got
the
his
main
school
ship?
uniform.
Color is his robe.
Yeah, he's got a school uniform on. He's got like the blue cloak and a little blue pointy hat with lots of stars and
This
symbols on
kid
it.
is so dead.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And a broom. He's got a broom.
I swear I just saw him.
yeah.
Where is he?
So, and then in addition to these individuals, there's a handful of porters that are going with you who seem to be magical constructs of some kind. They're humanoid. They're slightly shorter than average humans, but they're still like over 5 feet. They don't have faces. They seem to be like generally
Extras.
gray human flesh colored, like no specific race. Like the flesh varies in tone from light to dark, but it's all very cadaverously gray.
Generic
And they're
dudes.
fairly muscular bodies, and no hair of any description anywhere, but also completely featureless front of the head, no face.
For now,
Sort of little pointy, almost ear-like structures, but no actual ear holes. And then just
now
a blank face.
I'm calling them swollums, because they're swole golems.
Yes.
Yes, that is in fact what they are called.
Good.
And they have numbers tattooed on their chests. They all are wearing like kind of just a basic skirt of fabric and really nothing else other than like some like straps for backpacks and things like that.
Oh, so they're JoJo characters. I see.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just swollums. Excellent.
Good. Good.
Striking absolutely fabulous poses.
Yep. Yeah, they all kind of like stand around, but each one of them will sort of occasionally, like one of them will just do this. Another one will kind of do like a, thinking pose from it. But but they've got no faces. You can't tell where they're looking at any given time. And they just seem to be there to carry stuff.
and flex.
Speaking of time, what if we combined some kind of time tracking device for keeping track of the days with pictures of attractive and muscular creatures and combine them such that every cycle of the moon or so, you could look at a new naked muscular creature.
All right, we're doing it.
Those
Golem
sell.
calendar.
What would stop someone from just looking at all the pictures all at once?
Nothing funny.
Maybe like, oh, I thought you were gonna put like a horrible curse or something on it.
Oh, I do like a horrible curse.
Yeah.
Golem calendar
Like you skip
2023,
ahead a
everybody.
month and your skin falls off. Yeah.
Get them
One of
now.
those.
All right. So, the horses are basically, they've got a bunch of horses for whoever needs them. Professor McGargamel and Mickey Cotter get on one horse. The professor gets Mickey to like get in the saddle and get comfortable first, and then hops up behind him, and then immediately turns back into the orange cat and settles down on his shoulder just to make transport easier. Perni, I'm assuming that you'll take a horse for now rather than do constant rituals.
Yeah.
To the
Um,
demon
and
horse.
there's a horse for Tromlin. Fetid could easily just get on either one of those horses, and it wouldn't be
I want to
particularly
ride one
burdened.
of the Swolums.
You can. You absolutely can.
Alright.
You
Good.
can climb a Swolum. Excellent.
I'm like doing the Titanic pose on top of the Swolum's head as it does a JoJo pose. It's great.
Good.
And there's a horse for Ugna, but apparently
My favorite children's novel, A Horse for
Horse for
Ugna.
Ugna.
Apparently Dagrid and Finster are both going to walk, so you kind of decide for yourself if you want a horse.
I mean, I'll lead it, and I'll walk for now. I'm sure I'm like trying to get Dagrid in conversation, but I don't think he speaks much.
No, actually, he's quite
Oh.
happy to chat with you
Cool.
about sandwiches in particular. He loves
Good.
sandwiches.
So do I. I mean, who doesn't? Come on.
Yep.
I think he might actually have earned the term sandwich artist.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And he really likes magical beasts and creatures.
We are deep in this discussion of weird animals. Like,
yeah.
You've heard Corey and me go into
actually,
nature documentary mode, right?
He's gonna be very interested in Trey. He's gonna be like talking about like what are you feeding him? Have you tried this? Like he's very into keeping magical creatures.
I go into great detail about like the supplements that we're giving Trey, but then also the workout routine, because you guys have noticed that every morning Ugna does like a workout routine with Trey, where she'll like get his little leg and try to stretch it out further so that he has good motion even in his bad leg.
With his little prosthetic.
Yeah.
Okay, I did a crayon drawing prompt for muscular golem and got essentially something that is more perfect than I could have ever possibly imagined.
Please
Discord.
Twitter it at me.
Excellent.
Yeah.
We must share the horrors with all y'all.
All right. Let's see. I'll put it in general because it's remarkably good.
Excellent. Oh no.
I must see this.
I'm so worried. Discord's installing updates, and I want to install more.
Oh, that's excellent.
No, don't worry about it, because Alina's going to put it in the chat.
I'm going to send that to me.
Or put it in the post that on our stream. Let us horrify everyone.
We'll all bear this burden together.
Okay.
Good. They're so meaty.
They're
and yet
very
so
meaty.
Made of clay.
So y'all are entirely ready to head out. And Professor Sunshine, Albina, is going to see you off. She says, definitely stay in contact as best you can. I must be apprised of your situation. Hopefully you can still track them. We know the direction they went in. And we'll continue to use magical means to see if we can figure out what's going on with them. Professor Schnorp should be with them, and many of the students are skilled as well, and there's no reason why we shouldn't have been able to make contact.
Hey, Meg.
We'll hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. And you're welcome, everybody watching. You're welcome for this. These are Swolums. Except I like that most of them have the head cut off
Yeah, they
because
got no
have
face.
Yeah. Cryon makes some interesting choices.
Good.
Yep. Excellent. Very good. Oh, a little bird is here too.
All the birds.
Meg is like swole, you say?
I do like swole.
I would like to see the swole golems. The swole.
The one in the middle row, but far right column has no speedo. It's just flesh.
Nope, that's just what they look like
It's
under
just
there.
clay. It's just smooth like a
you
can.
imagine that these things probably don't have any genitalia. They're wearing
No.
these little skirts.
It depends who made them and for what purposes.
Yep.
Oh, Pippin, you fell off. Come here, bud. It's okay.
Because the guy in
Come
the
on,
bottom
buddy.
middle is
Oh, no,
definitely
you
packing
fell.
something under there.
Yep.
Yeah.
It might just be like
Maybe
a
that's where
charging
their
port
faces
or
are.
something.
Oh
Yeah.
That's where
no.
their faces are.
Oh no.
Okay. You don't
It's
want to
just-
see their heads though.
No,
So
it's bad.
if someone tries to peek under the skirts, it'll just be like, "Hey, get out of here."
Yep.
Okay.
Very cursed.
So y'all, with that, you wasting no time, you head out of town. So there are again, unlike many of the cities of the north, this city has like gates all over the place. It's not like big, well defended single gate or anything like that. There's multiple gates scattered all over the outer walls of the city. In fact, in places there's like instead of an outer wall of the city, there's a little keep that somebody maintains. The whole city is really more of a jumble of magicians' quarters. And you imagine there's probably a reason for that. It's not like if anyone goes, we're gonna like raise up an army and attack this place. Oh, good luck.
There's all the weird magic here.
Yeah, one imagines that they could just magic city walls out of nothing if they really need them.
Yeah, that
Oh
would
my,
make
some
sense.
scritches.
So many
All right, everybody,
scritches.
this stream is now just a watching bird stream.
Bird scritch.
Let's
That's
watch
okay.
bird get scritch. Bird get scritch, yes, good.
She's very sucky because I've been
Yes.
gone for a while.
Yeah, because we were at Gen Con and the birds were boarded. We
Yeah, 'cause,
board
like-
them at a breeder's, so like he has many birds.
Yep. Where are you going? Hey, don't sit on my mic, please.
But I want to.
No, thank you. No, don't.
Just so that everybody knows, Alina has to have a little sock specially for covering the mic because Meg
No,
likes
it's
to
Meg's
sit on it
favorite perch.
and preen forever, which means that Meg produces an awful lot of detritus,
Whoop.
which would go into the microphone and destroy it.
Bird
Thank-
dust is not great for electronics.
That
Thank you,
reminds me,
Meg.
I need to vacuum out my computer again soon.
Oh yeah. I'll get the air compressor.
Yep.
You can blow it out instead.
They haven't been perching on that lamp above the
No.
computer as often lately, so I'm probably
Such
okay.
a bird. Such a good bird.
Good bird.
Very good bird.
All right. I must stop being distracted. So as you guys are leaving the place, there's lots of little like cockatoo griffins and things flying around. There's a webcomic artist draws my absolute favorite take on a griffin, which is like a house cat sized griffin. So the lion parts are house cat, and then the other parts are parakeet. It's quite good, quite excellent. Oh, I also just remembered I was going to remind the audience, and I shall again, that at any point you may feel free to cheer for our players, particularly if interesting things are going on that you wish to cheer them for. And those cheer points go into our little tracker, which you can see is at 51%. When that hits 100%, everybody gets an inspiration. Fetid, you're still full up because
Hell yeah.
people gained one
Yeah.
a little while ago, and you
I
had
can afford to make mistakes.
exactly. So you guys head out through one of these random gates. It's early enough in the morning that there's basically like almost no one around. The gate is unguarded. There's no city guard at the gate. Instead, it's just a closed steel door that opens when you come near it.
Cool.
And then there's like an in pretty engravings on both sides of the doors, but they have faces in the center piece of those engravings, and the faces, of course, are watching you. And as you come near, they kind of grumble a little bit. One of them has its eyes closed; the face is kind of sagging, and the other one goes like, "Hey, psst, hey," and wakes it up. And then both doors open. The second one a little slower, and with a grumble of like,
Uh-oh. DM's
Lang
frozen.
frozen. It's perfect. It's
Oh.
perfect. It's
Am I back?
perfect.
Oh, you're back.
freeze
hear
during
you.
any of that discussion, or am I okay?
You froze doing the grumpy door face for me,
Yep.
which is the
Okay.
perfect freezing.
So that's all you missed. Then
Yep.
that's fine.
Boop. A bird.
I don't know why I would freeze. I am on the actual
Yeah, I don't know.
blind internet. But I'm going to reload the chat as well, just to
Meg.
make sure that connection is not interfering.
Thank you.
And as I connect, a terrifying bird monster is attacking. All right, everyone roll initiative. There's
Bird?
it's Cockatoo Rock. Cockatiel, I guess. but
Cockatiel. He's
Cockatiel
too small.
Rock.
You're a good bird.
No, instead the doors then swing open and there's no one around, but you can just go out. But as soon as you pass through them, the doors slam shut again. And you're on the trail. Uncle Finster says, "This is the way they went. They went out this way.
Okay.
We don't know where they went from here, but we know they took this road out of the town.
Fetid,
let's
can
head up
you
in the hills."
smell them yet?
Yeah, I want to, I guess, make my first... What skill would that be?
This is
Probably...
survival is the tracking skill.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting.
I
I'll
think
assist with the power of history.
I would say though at this point you're pretty sure if this door gets any amount of real traffic, it's going to be too confused here. You need to get a ways away.
Okay.
That said, when you start sniffing at the ground, the cat form of Professor McGargamel jumps over onto Finster's shoulder and kind of bats at him, and he goes, "All right, we brought these for you," and he pulls out a small sack, which contains various articles of clothing and bedding from the various students that were in the group.
Okay.
And
I'm going to eat one of each items per student.
Good.
Fingers crossed for a bed weather. Fingers crossed for a bed weather.
That's just the more flavorful one.
Yeah. I mean, taste and smell are so intimately linked, and also I love eating people's used undergarments.
You're doing it like a sommelier thing, you take it in, and then you do like a little you have to suck some air in afterwards to make sure you get it all on the palate.
A little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get it on your Jacobson's organ.
Yep.
Like a snake.
Yeah. Yeah, you actually push out like a camel's fucking the soft palate pushes out like a bag, and you smash it into the clothing. Everyone's like, "What the fuck is that?"
Oh, don't worry, this is normal for me.
This is just my Jacobson's organ.
Yep.
If anybody wants a fright, search for Moose Jacobson's organ.
Oh no.
This is the right
Moose?
timing of my life.
or vomeronasal, or is the general term for them. Vomeronasal organ. They're pretty gross.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the camel's the one that has the really huge
It's got the
floppy
floppy.
one. Yeah.
I don't know if that's a Jacobson's organ though. I think that's just a balloon used for sexual display.
Yeah, I don't think it's
They just
actually
got a
scent-based.
nose balloon, and the ladies like that.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I think the camels use them for scenting.
Mm.
But moose,
Camels are
yeah,
into
it's
some
just a
weird shit.
sex thing. For moose, it's just a weird sex thing. Hey, baby, do you like it when I
Everything is with
inflate
moose.
my
It's
face
like
at you?
that.
Okay. So, yeah, so you get a whole bunch of scent here. And after a short travel, like a little ways away from the city, once you get down the trail, and Finster and Dagrid tell you this is the way that they would have coming out of the city. This is the usual. They've been on the field trips in some years before, and so they're aware of the route. So they assume that they would have stayed on this trail until they got out of sight of the city walls, moving up into the hills. And after a little while, you get a little distance away from the city where the trails all break off in different directions. The scents get less confused. You start managing to kind of like dial in on scent a little better. So let's get those rolls. Copernicus, you're going to do like a history help check for Fetid, basically saying, why don't you? I'm going to make you role play these. Why don't you, I want to hear what you're like, what crazy historical knowledge you're going to pull out that will help his tracking
All right, I
attempts.
got
As I like
28.
literally drag my tongue along the ground.
My shadow only remembers what I remember about the trip here, and I was on some very psychoactive stimulants at the time. Now, what I remember from having followed the vision quests that a number of mages from the city have followed out here, and having mapped the routes they took to the wells of magic out in the desert, most of them tend to follow one of three routes because they just follow the most obvious path with the largest magical signature. So chances are they're going to end up at one of these three terminus. And I'm going to place bets that if we follow the sense to one of those, we're going to find a gaggle of terrified, piss-panted children.
Hey,
Excellent.
so do I get advantage on this roll, or is it
Well,
just
he makes a roll. So
okay?
Copernicus needs to make a history check.
Mhm.
I got a 28 in history check.
DC 15. Go
So
for it.
it's flying colors, success.
What is your roll?
Oh, 28.
Sorry,
Ooh, very nice.
your
That's
sound
pretty
is
good.
still a little bit. So yeah, 28 is definitely more than you needed to get the DC 15, and that adds 3 to your roll, Jeff. So
All right,
Fetid makes a survival check with a total of plus 13.
all right. That would be a 25.
That is quite good. Okay. So Fetid, sniffing and tonguing the ground, will manage to pick up their trail and begin to follow in the direction that they went. So after a day of travel, um, the along the trail that Finster and Dagrid indicate is the way that they would have gone to the campsite. But they say that it's a about a day a long day's trek for the primary or sorry 2 days trek to the primary campsite. But by the end of that first day, you deviate and the trail goes further up into the hills. And yeah, immediately Finster and Dagrid tell you this is not the route that should have been taken. This is the point where they went somewhere else.
Mm.
Um, and as you head in this direction, night is starting to fall. You're pushing on. Generally, you guys have been like pushing for extra. And in fact, I think I'm going to get a Constitution save across the board
Cool. As we push
for
hard.
exhaustion, just to see sort of how far into the night you can kind of manage to hold out.
That's pretty good.
That's not great. You have no inspiration.
19.
That's a 12 on mine.
Oh, sorry. Those of you riding horses get advantage on this roll.
Ooh.
Yay. That was worse.
So what was your good roll?
My good roll was 12.
I think 12 will do it for the first one. Yeah, because the DC goes up with each subsequent exhaustion check. I think 12 is more than good enough. I think the first one is actually a 10 or 11, one of the two. So you're pushing on into the night, right? So like you're tracking mostly by scent here, so it's clear you can keep going. And as you make your way off of this trail and into more of like the wild, rutted, treacherous paths that are going higher up into the craggy hills, you round a corner into a ravine and find the remnants of a broken cart. There are two wagons here that are kind of like smashed up, and they've basically, someone has deliberately broken the wheels of these carts. There is still some stuff in it, some camping equipment in the carts. I would like everyone to make me either investigation or perception check, whichever you find easier to make. And
Yeah.
I'm going to roll one for Randy as well, since he is still with you.
I did pretty good for Ugna. I did a 15.
That is, yeah, that's better. I only have a 12.
Okay, 15 will do it. What do you get?
I rolled a 3 for a 10. It's one of my good rolls. But
Did I roll the highest? Wow.
Yeah.
That never
Ugna's
happens.
leading the investigation.
You did not. Tromlin did, but you rolled the second highest. You and Tromlin both notice a figure standing in the bushes nearby, pointing in your direction.
Is
and
it a
Tromlin
shadowy
immediately
figure?
hits. Yeah, I mean it's getting dark, so
Yeah.
it can be no other kind. And Tromlin immediately hits the dirt, and yells at you to get down.
I will jump
And
on top
everyone
of my companions. Just try to shield them with my body.
Yeah, everybody hits the dirt except for the Swolums, which just stand there. But like a few moments go by and nothing happens. And Ugna, you notice with your perception roll that the figure is completely unmoving.
Hang on, you guys. I don't know what that is, but it hasn't moved. Maybe it's like a statue or something?
Wait. Do I have dark vision? Do I get to do the cliche reminding the DM that you have dark vision?
You got all the bullshit vision?
As soon as you have...
yeah.
Good.
I can see totally 60 feet. I can see that motherfucker.
Actually, Lane, I can see in total and magical darkness, so I can see what the figure is.
Sorry, did you say actually at the beginning of that?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't count otherwise. Yeah, so no, now that it has been, your attention has been drawn to the figure, you can clearly see through the foliage, and if you go over and investigate and pull the foliage aside, it is a statue of a man in robes, in the midst of casting a spell. Like the pose is clearly a spell casting pose. And
I think we got something that petrifies
is it
around
Schnorp?
here, y'all.
Yeah.
And in fact, Uncle Finster exclaims, "Oh my stars and garters! It's Professor Schnorp."
Professor Stevius Schnorp.
Good.
Yeah, it's
Schnorp.
Stevenus. Steve to his friends.
Good.
Yes, it is in fact Professor Steve, who is a a large ratkin
Mm.
creature. So a man-sized person in like robes with like an absolute weasel face, and like some greasy hair hanging down, in like mid spellcast, but apparently turned to stone.
Does Tromlin have anything that can help with petrification?
Yeah, he has. This is above my pay grade.
Do we want to bring him along? I don't want him to get broken.
I guess we
Strap
could
him
add
to
him
one of the
to
swolems, maybe?
Maybe.
yeah.
Can somebody roll for Tromlin? We're gonna roll his magic knowledge for what
Oof.
spell is involved here.
I rolled poorly. I rolled a 7.
Yeah,
Uh,
Arcana Perni's own right.
yeah,
Yeah.
Perni can make an Arcana check as well. It's not his type of magic, so make it with disadvantage, but you can make one.
Yeah. 17.
That's the low roll. So
Pretty good.
yeah, you kind of know the general. It's a cleric-y thing. This would require a greater restoration,
Mm-hmm.
which is a 5th level spell.
All right.
And Tromlin is like a multi-class
Mm-hmm.
character. Tromlin, you've never seen Tromlin cast above a 2nd level spell,
Okay.
so you are certain that
All right.
Tromlin is like far beyond. This is far beyond Tromlin's pay grade.
We will
Um,
strap him to the crate and pack straw
Yep.
around him.
so you only have like riding horses.
Yeah.
Oh.
After a brief discussion, Dagrid suggests that he could take a couple of the swolems and take all of the goods that were left behind in the wagons, and carry the statue carefully back to town. You're only a day's ride out, so
Cool.
it would
If I can
split
have
your party a bit, but you've got quite a few
It's okay.
folk with
I
you
can be a
still.
good backup Hagrid if we need to.
It's true.
if
Dagrid,
I can pull
Dagrid.
some
you can eat a big sandwich. That's the
Yes.
important thing
Good.
to make you like Dagrid.
that's a solid skill set. If I can either borrow some horse blood or some, if Fetid can summon something for blood, I can make some wheels to repair the cart so that at least they can travel with the cart and transport stuff more easily.
I remember, I feel like we had this conversation before, but am I allowed to summon things that Perni can then turn into blood
Yeah,
magic?
we
Or is it
did, and the problem is that the blood would disappear. So, like the
Mm.
duration,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
summons a magical animal, like a magical spirit that takes the form of an animal, and at the end of the spell, that magical spirit dissipates back into the ether. So, any fluids that it left behind would be gone. So, it would work in the short term, like if you were in a tactical situation where you needed to blood
You
magic, like
needed some
an
ice blood.
axe or
Yeah.
something, you could do it. But at the end of the spell's duration, it would be gone.
Okay. How many horses
My
do we have?
goodness, that's a sucky bird.
She's very sucky.
Such a sucky bird.
How many horses do we have? Do we have extra horses?
I brought a
Can we
horse, but I haven't
afford
been
to
riding
be
it
a
because
horse?
I've been too busy chatting.
You do have an extra horse that you could not use, especially if Dagrid is leaving.
Although, actually, we should probably save the cart for transporting the kids back.
Probably.
So never mind. I'm gonna rescind my offer to kill a horse. My generous offer to kill a horse.
Wow. There's a first
Take
time
it
for
back.
everything, I guess.
Oh no, no.
Okay. In which case, you
So long,
uh,
Swolems.
yeah, you still have a few swolems with you. You still have 4 of them.
Swolem if you got it.
You had 6, but 2 of them are going to, between them, carefully carry the statue, while Dagrid loads up a huge pack of all of the leftover equipment and gear in these wagons, and
Is
heads
there
back.
a specific name for the fetish where I have been turned to stone? and I am being carried by two naked claymen without facial features or genitalia.
Whatever that
there-
fetish is,
Yes.
I guarantee Professor Schnorp has it.
Mm-hmm.
What I want to know is how much does it cost to commission one of you to draw that for me?
I mean, there's a whole I mean, obviously,
I'm details that we're not comfortable with.
You got to
Just
go
to be
on
clear.
to OnlyFiends. OnlyFiends has subject for that.
Oh, God.
yeah, yep. I'm sure Copernicus subscribes to some OnlyFiends. Like, I mean, that's how he met Agrajag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
We call it succubscribe, not subscribe.
Oh, God.
yep, excellent, excellent. This is all grade A content. But I was just gonna say, I just lost my train of thought. What was the whole point of OnlyFiends? Oh, right. The I was just gonna say, as far as like fetish drawings of my weasel version of Snape, there has got to be a ton of like furry fantasy artwork
I mean,
of
I'm already drawing something.
Alan Rickman as Snape. Like it's a whole category of the internet. So, and I just realized I made Snape a ratkin. Oh no, Mickey Cotter is also a ratkin. This is not going to end well.
Well, we all know he's gonna die anyway.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But first, he's going to have sex with the students because apparently that's what the internet really gets off on.
Uh-huh.
The internet is into statutory rape.
Also
Unfortunately.
incest.
And incest. Statutory incest rape.
Did you say statue?
Yeah. Statuary. I said statuary rape.
Statuary.
Yep.
Oh.
Anyway, I'm going to head off that whole train of thought.
Yeah.
And the rest of you are going to continue on and press on into the night and try and make up some distance. So now you're going through these dark ravines between the craggy hills of Blackthorn as you move deeper towards the mountains. And pressing on into the night, I think I'm going to get everyone to make a second saving throw, Constitution saving throw. Difficulty slightly higher now.
I definitely need to spend an inspiration on that.
Oh, you have 3, so you're in good shape.
Good job.
I rolled 2 natural ones.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Or better.
One in 400 chance.
Copernicus is old and staying up all night. I mean, not staying up. He always stays up all night, but you know what I mean.
Staying upright all night.
He's used to like sitting down with a good book. I mean, not a good book, but a good book.
A book.
A book.
A very evil book.
A book.
Yeah.
A good evil book. Do I need to bother asking if Ugna made it?
I mean, I rolled really low. I rolled a 9, so that still gives me 16.
Good lord.
Or sorry, no, a 10. I rolled a 10.
I have an 8 total, even after my inspiration. So I am not doing great.
Professor, what was your total?
8.
Oh, okay. That's not going to make it.
No, I know.
So you're all starting to get pretty worn out. So you can keep going. You keep going, like, because that just gives you 1 level of exhaustion. So that just gives you disadvantage on skill checks. I think that's just skill checks. I'm just pulling up my sheet so I have it in front of me.
16 was not enough?
That's fine.
Okay, cool.
You're fine.
Okay, it's everybody else.
I just meant the other y'all.
The other y'all.
Because there's several characters here now, and that includes Professor McGargamel is also flagging, as is Mickey. Uncle Finster seems to be doing okay, as is Ugna.
But, I mean, no surprise there.
So, yes, it's just disadvantage on ability checks only. That's the only thing that is affected by the first exhaustion.
It's bad for our tracker.
Yeah, it's not great for me, but I'll do what I can. I mean, my tracking skill is still pretty high, so...
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous, and you do have some help from some of the people you're with. Let's make a few rolls just to see how you've been keeping to the trail. So
Okay.
make
Okay.
let's get 3 rolls, but you're making them all with advantage.
Okay. 1 is a 1. That's slightly. Wow, I'm rolling poorly today. So the first roll is a 15.
Okay, and then still the +3. I'm just going to keep that general
Right.
roll from history bonus. So that's an 18. So the first one, doing
Second
fine.
roll, I don't even need to re-roll. That's going to be like a 30.
Yep, no problem.
Third roll, I do. Let's see if I can do better. No, that's not great. 15, so 18 again. So
Yeah. So you're
18, 18.
still it's fine. You're keeping it going. At least up to this point where you're starting to get a little exhausted. And you're pressing on into the night, trying to you're starting to get to the point where you might be telling the others that it's getting a little harder to keep following the trail as you
Oh
guys
no,
get worn out.
Schnorp.
Yeah.
Yay, it's Professor Schnorp. Professor Steve Schnorp.
He's real tall.
Listen,
Good old Steve.
Steve Schnorp.
Yeah.
That friggin' guy.
I hope that we find out that he's unreasonably and irrationally just unkind to Mickey Cotter for
Yep. Yep.
we can't understand.
He absolutely is.
Oh, speaking of, I found Mickey's picture now, so I can actually.
Yay, share Mickey Cotter's picture with the
Ew,
audience.
There's Mickey.
Hey, audience.
Doesn't he
You
have
guys
such
like
a
to see
punchable
pictures
face?
of Mickey
Look at that
Cotter.
guy. Look at that guy.
Good old Mickey Cotter.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait for him to die.
He seems like someone who would interrupt the GM to remind the GM that he has dark vision.
Excuse me.
Actually, my dark vision goes out to 80 feet, so, yeah.
I took a feat.
I have a special feat that gives me more dark vision. I have double dark vision.
You know, if you adjust him like 15 degrees voice wise, he's strong said.
Yep.
Excellent.
That would make him.
There is a limited number of falsettos that I can do.
Oh yeah, me too.
Metageeky points out that Mickey Cotter has infinite copyright power
That's
and
true.
is very unlikely to ever die.
He doesn't have
Yeah.
Avada Kedavra. He just has cease and desist.
Yeah.
If he could
Summon.
die, he just can't enter the public domain.
That's true.
Summon 6d10 lawyers.
He's a swarm summoner.
Yeah.
He just instead of
Yeah,
bugs,
he's
it's
like me,
lawyers.
but litigious.
Yeah, good.
I would like everybody to make a perception check. You may not use investigation instead. This is specifically perception.
12.
Oh, I've been rolling very badly tonight. This is not going to go.
Oh god. 4.
Yep.
Oh no.
That's a 2.
Ooh.
2.
I guess since I
4.
have disadvantage, I technically have to see if I roll a 1. So
Yes.
Oh no.
another 2.
Should I roll for Tromlin?
Uh,
Or is he asleep?
yes, but he is also at disadvantage, so roll with
Okay.
disadvantage.
Oh, 15, actually. I rolled a
Is that his
19.
high?
Yeah, 15's the low. There was a 19 and a 15.
Yes.
Okay.
Combo. Hey.
So Tromlin might notice this here. Actually, I'm just trying to decide where I'm going to set this up. Okay. So as you enter a particular ravine, a particularly overgrown ravine, and are needing to sort of hack away at the undergrowth to make sure the horses can pass easily, Finster mentions that he's starting to get worried that they abandoned the wagons, and the animals that were pulling the wagons were magical constructs and won't be as impeded as horses are. So they might be taking trails that are going to start to get harder for horses to take than it may get to a point where the horses are impeding you rather than helping you. So far, you're not there, but Finster's like, we're gonna have to make a choice at some point.
Someone needs to kill some horses.
Oh man.
Do I need to get into a conversation?
Replace them with blood eagles.
Yeah. I'm just gonna start. Finster is like, yeah, we're gonna have to make a decision at some point, and then Mickey Cotter says, "Oh, well, that would be terrible, Uncle Finster." And Finster says, "Yeah, you're telling me." I'm just doing this so that you can have a fulsome sample
Falsetto.
of my falsettos.
Good.
Mhm.
As you enter into this area, and Finster is mentioning this, Tromlin will say, "Hey, what's that? There's something shining like a gemstone in the trees over there."
We all look in completely the wrong direction.
Yeah. What?
Huh?
He sighs heavily and points in the direction he means.
I would like to Arcana
you
that,
mean
and I'm going to roll with disadvantage.
Say again, sorry?
I'm going to Arcana that with disadvantage. I rolled
roll.
a 4, so that makes 13.
I was going to make you roll investigation first, so that's going to fail. You can't see what he's pointing out. You're like, what are you talking about?
Oh,
I just see
God.
bushes and trees over there.
Tromlin and I both rolled real shitty this round.
Yep.
I rolled a 7 and an 8.
Fetid, you can make another roll here too if you'd like. No,
And
this can point out to you.
I have a -1 for
first one was
investigation.
an
So
18. Second one is a 3. Yeah, no.
But that actually will be enough because with your +7, that's a 10, and you're having it pointed out to you, so it's not a high DC.
And
A
I do
10.
have dark vision.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
The 10 with your dark vision, this clearly makes you able to spot a glint of shiny gem over there. Do you wish to investigate further?
I do wish to investigate the shiny thing that may or may not be a horrible trap.
Good.
Okay. So you go sneaking in towards the woods, into that area of the woods, and you find, as you go in, there's a little clearing in the trees. It's ringed by more of these dead-looking pines that are just coated in reindeer moss, and you know that they're dead for sure. These trees, because their roots towards where they dig into the soil, in this like thin soil on the rocky hillside, the roots that are sticking up are just covered in mushrooms. All those faintly green and sickly white green, glowing mushrooms and toadstools. Heavily thick in a ring around this little tiny clearing. In the center of the clearing, on bare ground, there's like really no grass here. It's all like gray, dead scrub. There's a big stump, like of a much bigger tree that once stood here, that's rotting and disintegrating. But this stump has no mushrooms or fungus growing on it. It's just blackened with age.
I
And
attack the tree.
hovering above the stump, floating in the air, is a large, roughly cut ruby.
Ooh.
The size of, I was going to say your fist, but it's more like the size of Ugna's fist.
That's
Like
very
it's almost
big.
the size of your head.
Hey, y'all, this is almost certainly a trap of some kind, right? Like, I don't have to make some sort of
Floating in
will
the air.
check to not be suspicious of this.
You don't have to roll to not be suspicious, but you do have to roll a will save.
Uh-oh.
Crap.
Oh,
So
no.
that's a wisdom saving throw. You remember, you don't have disadvantage on that. Your disadvantage is only ability checks.
Is that everybody?
God.
Or just
No,
Fetid?
just
Oh,
Fetid.
all right. I need to spend another inspiration if I
Ooh,
can.
Spicy.
You can. You can indeed spend an inspiration.
That's slightly better. You said will?
Yeah. So wisdom.
Wisdom. I'm good
You
at
have a
that.
+4 wisdom, I think.
That's a 10.
That's a 10 total.
Yeah.
That's the better
That's-
one.
I am
That's-
not rolling well today.
No.
That is not going to make it.
Oh
So,
no.
you see this gem, and you basically you
must
tell the
have it.
others.
I
You-
need
you
to
tell-
have it.
Yeah, you tell the others. There's like this is almost certainly a trap, but here, come and see this. And as you're
Check out
telling
what
them
I'm
that,
about to do.
you just reach out and grab it, like
Yeah.
without even thinking about it. You just your body goes, I'm going to grab a hold of that.
Can I try and fishing hook his hands before he does?
Yep.
You were unable to spot where this was, so you can come. You hear Fetid saying, "There's a trap here. You guys should check this out."
Check this out. Here's what happens when you touch this.
But you do in fact grab the gem. As you do so, it crumbles to dust in your hand. It like disintegrates into a black wisp of smoke that hangs in the air.
As this
and you
is
can
happening, I'm like, why did I do this? Why did I think this was a good idea?
you can say that out loud.
Yep.
And everyone can smell this acrid, sulfurous stench, as well as you actually know only Fetid will hear in your mind this very, very deep-throated chuckling laughter that seems like it's receding into the distance.
Oh, good.
Oh boy.
As the gem disintegrates.
I really beefed it on this one, y'all.
I just assumed that
have-
the smell is Fetid's fart.
What?
Yeah,
What
I
did
mean,
you-
well, no, it's not that bad. It only smells like hell, like
Oh, okay.
turbo hell.
Good.
And
What
this-
did you touch?
I was a big floating jewel, but then it turned into dust, and I heard some sort of horrible evil laugh inside my head. So I made a mistake.
That seems
Can I copy
bad.
that?
It
and at
probably
this,
will be, yes.
yeah, I'd like everyone to make a wisdom saving throw now
Oh no.
to determine the
Oh
severity to
no.
which you have been cursed.
So I rolled a 6, which is a 5 because I have a -1, and Tromlin rolled a 1.
Nice.
Oh no.
I have doomed us all.
I rolled an 8, which is a 13.
Oh,
Which is
good.
the high
Oh,
roll
man.
so far.
Oh
right there.
no.
No,
This
remember,
rules.
no disadvantage on this one. Remember,
I know.
No,
yeah,
we
that
don't
was
need
my-
it.
just
that
just
was
making
the
sure no
straw.
one
We
was,
don't need
was
it.
accidentally
This
disadvantaging
is
themselves.
the day where all of those 20s that we've rolled,
Yeah.
that distribution is being forcibly rebalanced
Yup.
in live real time.
I will
Okay.
fall on the dagger. If a 6 would make Tromlin's will save go off, I will take the 1.
No,
no.
don't worry about it.
Okay.
Tromlin rolled a 1
Yep.
and vanishes
Oh no.
Oh
in a
god.
puff of similar
Oh no.
black acrid mist.
Well, that's actually worse than I was expecting, so
Mhm.
that's cool.
So Tromlin is just gone. Ugna,
Yep.
you are unable to see.
Oh, cool.
You can see nothing at all.
Cool.
Definitely not
cool.
gonna affect your combat
Nope.
effectiveness.
And everybody can see that Ugna's eyes are just white now.
Did it get real dark? Is there like a dark spell?
No, your eyes are fogged over.
I'm like waving my
Copernicus-
hands in front of my face now.
Copernicus, you have no legs.
Oh god.
Your body now ends at the waist,
Oh my god.
and it's just like you can touch it. It's fleshy underneath, but like everything below that is gone, and you're basically now like lying on the ground.
Fun. All right.
Actually, make me a dex save because you were
Oh,
on a
no.
horse.
Oh no.
No, it's okay. I'm going to say you got off the horse because you were coming over to investigate. So you just fell on the ground.
I'll take it.
Tromlin, you okay there, buddy? I don't wanna step on you. Make some
Cromlin
noise.
is gone.
Like, gone?
I don't see him anywhere, and I can
Tromlin?
see as far as I know.
Tromlin!
can.
I yell
You
really
can
loud,
indeed
which is probably inadvisable.
You're shouting for Tromlin.
Yeah.
And let's see here. I'm just going through my list here and picking out good ones.
Hate it when the DM says that.
Yeah, everyone who made their saving throw, which includes Mickey and the professor.
Mickey is the only survivor.
God damn it, Mickey.
Mickey and the professor just have a lingering and ongoing disadvantage on all rolls, which the rest of you also have.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Note that disadvantage doesn't stack.
Oh.
So Ugna's blind penalties are the disadvantage part of that is just rolled together.
Gotcha.
And then yeah, fetid. Are you actually touched it though? I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I'm just fucking dead, aren't I?
Yeah, your hand basically like burns away and is just
great.
gone. The hand that you grabbed the gem with is just gone.
Sweet.
You have like a burnt stump instead of the hand now, and
awesome.
You take like 10 damage.
Even better.
That's healable. The hand not so much.
Oh, great.
Cool.
Good.
You grew those back, right? That's a lizard thing?
I can't use a bow anymore.
That's a problem.
Oh no!
You have a gun. You have a gun.
Yes, I can shoot the gun once, and then I can't reload it.
Oh no!
You can, it's just hard.
I'm gonna... Okay. Can I make just theoretically, in a future combat, could I make an unseen servant who can reload Fetid's gun for him?
Oh yeah, of course you could.
Okay.
Yeah, and in addition to that, Fetid is now glowing slightly.
Great.
There's an eerie, otherworldly green glow hovering around your body.
Nice.
That's basically going to act like fairy fire. And
because I wasn't killable enough already.
Yeah, and Finster has a similar glow around his body. Also.
Fetid.
And the golem will have to roll. So I'm
good. This golem's okay.
Good.
And also
we'll put you on a swolem. No, I have a perfect idea. I know what I'm doing.
One of the horses also has no lower body and collapses to the ground.
Is it like got no legs or has it got no back half?
It's got no legs.
Okay.
Well, there's your blood sacrifice, Perni.
Torso horse.
Yep. Yeah.
And in fact, you might as well do me while you're at it, because I'm not going to be good for much from now on.
And I can reveal that the poll for also first of all, I will say that as this all plays out, and you're all like scrambling and shrieking and stuff amongst yourselves, a figure is also going to appear over the stump, and it is a silhouette of Copernicus, but with glowing red eyes, and that figure is going to say, "I knew you would come after me. I knew you would blunder into my trap. Be cursed and fail in your attempts to stop me, Copernicus." And the shadow disappears. I'll reveal that the demonic curse was the choice of the trap.
Good.
But the chat tied it with the haunted gem. So I merged I rolled off and I rolled the demonic curse, so it's mostly the demonic curse that I went with. But the haunted gem I threw an aspect in as well.
I do love that the greatest villain we've had for the entire arc is Copernicus.
Also, can I
shadow my inability to control my impulses.
That's always been our enemy, let's be honest.
Yeah. If it wasn't you, it was going to be me.
I would like to further christen this enemy, because again, if he's the opposite of Copernicus Sunshine, he's Copernicus Moonshine.
Good.
I think it's the only responsible way to name him.
What was the first part of that?
Faux
Copernicus
Pernicus.
moonshine.
Faux Pernicus, right. Faux
Yeah.
Pernicus moonshine. But of course, you know the actual enemy here is Shek. Not that
I
you've shared
assume
that
that he's
information.
co-opted. I assume
Yeah.
that he's co-opted my shadow, but yeah.
Well,
Okay,
Um,
so
this is
this is
bad.
a good time for the break. Now that you all have a demonic curse, and let's pick up in 10 minutes and figure out what you're going to do now.
See ya.
Not tie my shoes, that's for one thing.
Clap.
Yeah.
You and Copernicus aren't going to tie your shoes because Copernicus
Ugh.
doesn't have any shoes.
Alrighty. We'll sort this out.
All right,
We'll figure it out.
we're back shortly. It'll all be fine.